Good evening, everybody. It's Valerie here. What a week. What a week it has been. I'm not going to lie. That probably means I haven't really been getting the sleep that I've been needed to get. Um, I haven't been out. I haven't been with people. Man, it's taking a whack out of us, isn't it? As I drove my teenage daughter to school today, I felt the need to prepare her for grief today. As we took a drive, and I said, honey, I want you to be prepared that today is probably going to be the last day that you will see your friends for a while. And she was a bit taken aback by that. And I took the opportunity to say to her that this is the time for you to grieve. It's okay. And we talked about how, as she went to school today, that every friend that she met and every opportunity that she got, that she would see it as an opportunity to say her goodbye and to hold the memory and to grieve. And I want to give you four alphabets in the grieving process. After I dropped her, I thought, I'm grieving too. We want to attend to that grief. It's normal. What's unusual though is that as a community, as a society, and all around the world, we're grieving. It's just that we may not know that we're grieving. We're grieving not being able to touch one another. We're grieving not being able to see our elderly friends and relatives. We're grieving not knowing when we're going to be back to normal. As today, as I entered the practice, though I do not have a great relationship with the physical surroundings, as I just walked through the office, I was grieving that in a few days, I don't know, but we could very well be living in a reality where I would not come back into those rooms. And so there is grief all around us. Here's the thing. Four alphabets that I've learnt when we are actually in the process of grieving. The first is to remember. It's all right for us to actually take some time to remember some of the spaces and the people that we are going to miss, and to allow ourselves to actually take that time to sit with a cuppa and sit and say, I'm really going to miss so and so, or I'm really going to miss having the opportunity to so and such. As we remember, we're actually acknowledging that emotion that is sitting within us. Grief comes like a wave. It builds in our system and can crest over like a tsunami. There are some physiological mechanisms for why it crests over like that, and why we don't experience it all as one. Just being able to remember gives us the opportunity to acknowledge that, yeah, these are really hard times, and these are really grieving times. So remember. A is to affirm. This would be a fantastic opportunity to actually just affirm the people in your world that you may not be seeing again. And even if you've gone to working remotely, even if you've pulled the children out, that's okay. There are a lot of fantastic ways you can still affirm. They can write letters, they can send messages, and affirm is basically about being able to say, you mean this to me. You're important to me. I really appreciate this about you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Affirm, and I just noticed today in the practice how much we were doing that today. We were affirming our commitment to be there for one another. I got affirmation from my team today, that they recognize the pressure that is on me to make lots of decisions in changing times. So being able to affirm. F stands for farewell. We can actually really avoid that and not wanting to actually deal with the reality that is before us, that we may not be seeing one another, that schools are closing, kids are being kept home, and we're going to be working remotely, and we can really sit with that denial. The thing about what's happening at the moment is, as you can see, things can change so easily. We're located in the Gordon Center, and I took the opportunity today to go down and actually buy some takeaway coffees because these people have been our friends, our community, and our network downstairs, the cafes and the different eateries. And being able to go and say and ask them, when will it be the next time I see you? I will miss you. But I'm also looking forward to the time when we will get back together. So farewelling, being able to actually attend to it and say, we won't be seeing each other for a while. And T is thinking ahead. Now, this is the interesting thing. T is thinking ahead. I don't want to sound insensitive or Pollyanna, but one of the things I've been saying very recently to my clients who are working through grief with me, as the changes are coming, and as they're having to farewell the ideas of what normal looks like, we're farewelling what normal looks like. And what I've been saying to them is, what's really healthy for human beings is to have a degree of psychological flexibility, right? We may struggle to adapt to change, but we can always cultivate psychological flexibility. And psychological flexibility is about being able to see at this point in time that new realities are being born. New realities are being born. Thinking ahead. Life as we know it will not be the same. It could be immensely different, but it could also be immensely good. Now, I don't want to be Pollyanna about this. I understand that we are losing jobs. I understand that we are, our health is being compromised, right? What we can think ahead for, though, is what we find that comes from the psychology of what happens after natural disasters or when people go through adversity, and it's called post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth basically shows us that when we go through difficult times, you think about an individual going through difficult times, you think about a community going through difficult times, now you think about the world going through a difficult time, right? And replicate the impact. Post-traumatic growth just means that when it all comes down upon us, we eventually rebuild, and we rebuild a new reality where we ask ourselves, what is the meaning? What is the purpose? Why are we here? Who are the people who are important to us? Which are the relationships that are really crystallized for us over this period to know, you know what? You're important. You know what? You reached out to me. You mean something and I mean something to you. There are relationships that get crystallized. We come out with a profound sense of gratitude and appreciation for the ability to have gotten through something, for appreciation for one another, for the clarity that comes that we stuck it out together. So there's a deeper appreciation. There's all round deeper sense of now we must recast and rebuild the future. And so thinking ahead, that's what I've been saying to the people who've been coming to see me. I say to them, don't feel like you have to hold on to the past and the routines that used to work. Just seeing yourself taking part a little bit at a time in a new unfolding reality, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared of it. Yes, there are some scary things ahead of us with health, right? But we don't have to be afraid of the end point right now, because the end point could look quite different. And people are joking right now that the best antidote to burnout was the virus, because suddenly your diary gets very clarified when everything gets cancelled. So what do? We reach deeper. We try to connect more with the people whom we can connect with. Yeah. So rafting. So yes, attend to the grief. There is grief and there is loss, and it is real. And at the same time, know that we don't have to be terrified of what the future is going to look like, right? Because we're all in this together, in this one unique point of history. We're united not only as a nation, we're united as a global community to fight against something, right? So adversity, when there's someone or something thing to fight against somehow unites us. And this is the thing. I'm just going to put out a pitch there. Much like I don't buy into, as a woman, that I then go crucify men and buy into an overgeneralization that says that women are oppressed and men are the oppressors. You may have your opinion about that, but that is my opinion. There are certain individuals who don't do the right thing, and they could be male or female. Much as I don't buy into that thinking, I also don't buy into the thinking that leaders become the automatic scapegoat. Here's the thing, I'm a leader, right? You gotta have a voice to listen to during these times. You gotta have a voice to listen. There has to be somewhere. Now, you may not agree with it right now, but can I just say that if you have a leader in your world, whether it's your boss, whether it's your gym owner, whether it's your, your, the people who take care of the housing, whatever. If there's someone in responsibility right now in your world, or maybe you are the person in responsibility right now, would you give them the gift of a smile, or a gift of an affirmation, or the gift of a virtual high five, right? Because none of us have the answers to this. Most of us, if we are trying to keep our heads about us, are trying to make decisions that are like fairy floss, because you can grab them for a minute and then it melts away as the situation changes. And if you are a leader and you are trying to get concrete plans right now and beating yourself up about it, that you didn't make the right decisions, or that you are failing in making the right decisions, well, can I say the only thing any of us can do is we can only make the good enough decision that is informed by a social conscience, a wisdom that can look at whatever data we have from the past and only project for what we can see for today. It's okay. You don't have to have all the answers. It's impossible. Tread gently today. And as I've been saying to the people who have been coming to me, this is the month to care for yourself, rest and sleep, and also make memories with the people that you can have with you. That you can have with you. This will be the time to actually really create those meaningful connections. Take care.